Welcome to my review of The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. My name is Xihon Han, and I will be talking about my thoughts and my opinions about The Red Badge of Courage. Let's get to start with. So, The Red Badge of Courage, you might first be wondering what the Red Badge of Courage is. I should probably use the color red. Red Badge of Courage is this badge. Well, the Red Badge of Courage is not an actual red badge, as I will try to symbolize my best here, that's red and has a symbol of courage on it, or literally has the words courage written on it, so that's not a bad idea. Maybe having both words, the symbol and the words, is probably a great idea. But in reality, it's more or less likely of an actual badge, more in the sense of like a symbolic kind of badge. It's like a war wound, where you get these wounds and you can go ahead and say that, oh, you can excuse me from this because I have a war wound. I am a war veteran and I have the glory and I should have all of the benefits of a wounded veteran. Except he's 17 years old, he's still fresh, and if he does somehow get himself crippled in the middle of a war, he's just about to waste his life, unless he somehow gets rid of disability. But remember, this is the 19th century. It's in the middle of the Civil War, the American Civil War, between the USA, the Union, aka the North, and the border states, fighting against the rebelling CSA, the Confederate States of America, the South. And with that, we have our Red Badge of Courage summarized towards you. I already told you the summary, so if you want a quick bite-sized kind of summary of the book, well, then go ahead and watch my summary video. But for now, I want to talk about how all these battles occur. Mostly so, this book itself is not just about the war. In fact, it's supposed to be the accurate depiction of the mind of a young man fighting in the middle of this war. Incredible, don't you think? But mostly so, it's not just about battles in the physical sense, it's about the mental battles at the same time. I'm going to use blue from now on because it's a very big contrast towards the whitish, yellowish thing and the red text in the background. So these mental battles, or psychological battles, take your pick, goes ahead and shows us everything within our mind. In fact, we only have access to one mind, unlike other books about the Civil War where we get to see different perspectives of it. Here we only see about the perspective of one mind, and not just about the side of which they are fighting on, but this one is about the actions, the reactions, and the how a mind perceives the mental world, this mental battle. How they see this world and interpret it in the sense of they're suddenly stuck into this civil war where they're fighting and they're supposed to kill each other, and then suddenly told that they have to have the courage to do it. Some certainly have the courage to do it. Others realize that they were speaking nonsense. They don't have any courage towards this battle and that they should literally just run away. Their survival instincts kicking in. What else can I talk about this? There are so many more battles that we could go ahead and start to discuss about, and there are so many other things that I could go ahead and tech into. In fact, the Red Badge of Courage that our protagonist, our boy Henry, goes ahead and earns is not actually from a war wound from the enemy. In reality, it's the entire opposite, and it's probably the worst kind of Red Badge of Courage that someone could actually get. It's from your own colleague, aka your own fellow army regiment soldier, your fellow private, where he goes ahead and panics, shoots the trigger, and accidentally shoots you in the head, giving you a war wound in the head, meaning that this war wound actually is not from the enemy and that you are cursed forever. Except that's only when other people know about it. The Union soldier who gave it probably does not even know who he is, aka that he doesn't even want to return back to the Union army, obviously, because, well, he shot him another Union soldier. But he does go back, by he I mean Henry, does go back to the army, seeing this war wound as something from the enemy and that he got it from battle. And with this, he is shown the utmost kindness and treatment from his peers. And with that, I kind of believe that this is what we believe by redemption. He goes ahead and later redeems himself secretly by himself in his own mind, by fighting more viciously in the battles and fighting more and more leading charges towards the end of the book, eventually going ahead and capturing the flag of the enemy. Which says something by itself. The fact that this book is supposed to be the accurate representation of a mind of a random soldier from one random side is that it doesn't really have any symbols to really talk about. But the few times that there are symbols, they do mean something. Such as the sunset, when there was a dead body. Or when there was lots and lots of redemption towards how he goes ahead and makes himself feel with his manhood, and how he goes ahead and lives the rest of his life, seeing that he has earned his Red Badge of Courage in his own right, and his own mind, and his own opinion. Some people say that his opinions on how he reacted towards getting his Red Badge Courage and after going ahead and defeating the enemy goes ahead and made him an honorable man. Except some people interpret that as him going back to his old self, being the casual kind of baseless assumptions kind of guy who says that I got a Red Badge Courage because I fought in war, and now that he has actually fought in war, some people see this as him being egotistical once again. But I kind of see this as someone who has learned his lesson, albeit the pacing was a little bit too fast, but the book is short, so do I expect anything more? No, I'm not saying that it's perfect in its own way. In fact, it's not. It still has its own flaws, but I'm saying that the Red Badge Courage is something that all of us can literally learn from, in the sense of, hey, we might not always get a literal Red Badge Courage, but we can do something to go ahead and try to attain ourselves in it, to give ourselves our own Red Badge Courage within our own minds. Obviously, it will be painful to get an actual Red Badge Courage from the book, but we can always try to go ahead and give ourselves our own scars, our own badges of courage that we have earned along our way in our own lives, in our own requirements, in our own world. We are not living in a world of, well, not most of us are not living in a world of war or constant war and constant fighting anymore, most of us. Salute to the ones who still are, but the ones who aren't, we can always have this mental battle for ourselves, try to find our truest selves, our inner selves, and then act upon those to get through all of this, to get through everything that we have been through. So that's it. So those are my thoughts on the Red Badge of Courage. I certainly have not earned my Red Badge of Courage yet, but someday I maybe will. Maybe when I turn 17 or 18. But until then, I'll still try to find the true self in myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye. Dao Gang.